Hi, my name's Rebecca Jones. I'm the director of the LEAD Institute. And somebody just asked me for a presentation that I did a couple of years ago on project management tools, sort of the basics. And so it occurred to me that some of those tools we don't always talk about, and we are talking about them right now in the LEAD Institute. LEAD is Canada's 12-month leader development for leading from any place for the library and information sector. And so I thought I would just quickly share with you particularly the stakeholder mapping and stakeholder analysis, and of course my all-time favorite, the RASCI, those project management basics. We have already done the project charter within LEAD. Now, LEAD is not a project management course. There are all kinds of great courses out there for people to do project management. We do require an organization-wide project to be completed by the cohort. That's a giving back, if you like, to the organization to be investing in their learning in LEAD. And so we just cover these sort of 6 basic tools: the project charter, of course, and change management methodology, the Moscow matrix, which is a part of the project charter, and it's actually in this blog post if you want it. But then this week we're talking about stakeholder mapping. So very quickly, stakeholder mapping is really to help you use a mind map to identify the stakeholders, those holding a stake of support underneath your project, or a stake they can put through the heart of it. And not because they want to kill the project, but because they see that other projects are more important for them, or they really don't understand what's in it for them to support the project. So it's a really great way to understand who your project stakeholders are that you need to keep on board, on side, or in fact have completely engaged in the project. Now I use a free tool called Coggle, which there's many out there to do my mind mapping, my stakeholder mapping. You can also just do it on a whiteboard. There's a whiteboard over there. It's got stuff all over it. You can do it on flip charts. You can do it. This is the one that we supply as well within LEAD, which basically just has your project in the middle, and you go out from that for each group. And then what's really important is to identify within a group. Let's say back here, you know, I had the group about IT. IT is a big group. Is it the director of IT? Is it some of the web designers within IT? Who are the actual individuals that you need to be communicating with, working with on the project? Then, of course, there's the power interest matrix, which really takes that stakeholder map and does some analysis around those stakeholders. This is a really basic one, which the 2 axes are influence or power. Influence being, they may not have a lot of power. Can you tell I'm recording at home? Okay, apologies, I'm back. You can tell any video recording in the future, we'll be able to look back and say anything recorded in 2020, 2021, 2022 was obviously during the pandemic, because we had barking dogs and crying children and partners coming in and all kinds of things. Anyway, let's keep our sense of humor. What I wanted to say was that there is the very basic influence or power and interest in the project. These are the axes over here in the simple 4 box. Keep in mind that somebody may not have power, meaning decision-making power, but they may have a lot of influence with those decision makers. So that's why we say power or influence. And then, of course, we have things going off too. Anyway, and then, of course, interest in the project. And the one that I want to it's a good thing this is a short video. I hope it's a short video. Anyway, this is a much more effective 9 box of power and interest. So the power and the interest, because it allows you to then get much more in depth, in detail about those individual stakeholders and how you need to involve them. So obviously, if somebody has a great deal of power, and they're very interested in your project, they're up here in the top right corner, which means that you need to involve them and closely engage with them. Moving along here, if they don't have a lot of interest in the project, which is always kind of dangerous, but they have a great deal of power, you not only want to be watching them, but you want to keep them informed. If they have some power, depending on their interest, you always want to keep them on side. And even if they have no power and maybe very little interest, you just want to keep them informed. Not just on side, sorry, I said informed with some. Keep them on side, keep them informed. And last but not least, I'll offer you this. This is a particularly good template, both for projects, for identifying how well you know the stakeholders and understand what their interest may or may not be, why they may in fact end up not being interested and therefore putting a stake through the heart of the project. This is also a great template to use for any communication that you need to do. So to identify the person, their name, their position, and how well do you know them? Do they know you at all? Would they know your face? Would they know your name if they got an email from you or a request for a meeting? What do you need them to do with regards to the project? Even if it's just that they stay out of the way. What's in it for them? The whiff-it factor. What's in it for them to do anything, and what's in the way for them to be involved? So I hope that this has been helpful. These templates are all available for you. This is one of the very small snippet of what we do at LEAD, and I hope you'll also take a look and have a look at LEAD. Thanks. Have a great day. It's not over yet because, of course, I forgot to talk about the RASCI. Some of you may use this as a RACI. I was taught within IT to use it as a RASCI, which stands for who's got the responsibility for an activity or a decision, who is ultimately accountable, or we say their A is on the line, whose support do you need to make this activity happen, who do you need to consult before you make this decision, or consult in taking the step before you take the step. And then lastly, who needs to be kept informed. So the RACI misses the S, and as soon as I say that, project managers around the country will go, oh, the RACI is just fine. That's cool. I just really like this because it's so detailed, and I use it for each major activity or decision in the project. Obviously, when you do get into, large cross-organizational projects, you may need to use it a lot more. I just use it like for each of the phases. Certainly to, the first one is putting the project team together. Who's going to be responsible for doing that? Certainly the project manager should be involved, but may not have the ultimate responsibility to put the project team together. That may be a senior director or an AUL or whatever. But anyway, there's the tools. Hope to talk to you soon. Bye.